Now it's time now for our weekly look at the big stories and the big issues in crime this week. And we're going to start with police and crime commissioners and what the future lies in store for them after yet another election with a very, very low turnout. Well, a new police and crime commissioner was elected in South Yorkshire on Friday to replace Sean Wright, who resigned following the Rotherham child abuse scandal, of course. Labour's Alan Binnings won the vote. The turnout, though, just 14.88%. It's very low, and that election actually cost £1.6 million to hold. Now, with the low voter numbers, meaning that it cost, actually, if you work it out, £11 for each vote cast. Is it worth it? Let's find out more. We're joined as ever by former Met detective Jackie Hames. And this morning, Jackie's joined by Nick Alston, Chair of the Association of Police and Crime Commissioners. Jackie.
Nick, good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning. 14.65% is incredibly low again. And considering the maelstrom of controversy over that J report in South Yorkshire, what's your view on these consistently low turnouts in these by-elections?
Well, we've had two by-elections with very low results and disappointingly low. But I don't think we'll have a real test until we get to the next full election in May 2016. Then I think we'll get a fair test. You know, up and down the country, police and crime commissioners are doing some remarkably good work. I think we've seen two difficult by-elections, both in very difficult circumstances, and I don't think we've yet seen the real test.
Do you think the public are actually understand and engaging with this role at all? It seems to be that they just don't understand what you do.
I think there's a real challenge still in making the public understand what we do. I think all of us would say in our own counties we're getting really a lot of engagement with local people, and I know in Essex there's real interest in what I do from the media, from public meetings, and certainly there's a lot more than there ever was for the old police authorities. And I think we have to remember this is a new move forward. It's not as if we're in a new role, we're replacing the old police authorities. Nobody talked about them. They're certainly talking about police and crime commissioners, and there's some very good things going on up and down the country.
The reason they're talking about police and crime commissioners is that there's been a lot of scandal and sort of really quite difficult headlines for you. Do you think that's covering up the good work that you do, or is there a real problem with the people who are being selected?
I think it may be covering it up in the national media. Locally it's not. You look at some of the work that's going on up and down the country, and you might look at Vera Baird in Northumberland, the work she's doing with violence against women and girls, the work that's going on with victims with Sue Mount Stevens in Avon and Somerset. All of us engaged in things which are making a real difference for victims in particular, and also bringing much sharper governance to the police. We need our chief constables to be held more firmly to account than they were before, and I think they are now. That's happening.
So where's the evidence of the fact that you are holding chief constables to the account? I mean, in times of austerity, it's very difficult for them, obviously, to deliver the same services. What difference can you make to that?
I think we can make a huge difference. It's really about engaging the chief constables with what all of us who live in different counties want. For example, in Essex, every 3 months I hold a very, very public meeting with the chief constable, asking him those difficult questions and hearing from him about those challenges and enabling him to be asked directly by the public those questions of concern to them. I think that's a real step forward. It means that week by week, month by month, the chief constable's engaged with what the public are saying and thinking. And we're balancing those local concerns very well with the national concerns like organised crime and terrorism. Around the country, it is working, and I think we'll see that when we get to the next real election in May 16.
And yet the two commissioners who have been through the by-election process this year have both said that although they have applied and they are being elected to this post, they're both going to campaign for it to be abolished in the future.
Which is ridiculous. It feels ridiculous to me, and I think the Labour Party, are in a slightly difficult position on this. Many of the good police and crime commissioners are indeed Labour police and crime commissioners. They come from the good ones come from all different parties, and I don't think we've heard yet from the Labour Party what they're going to replace police and crime commissioners convincingly with. They are saying that, but Bob Jones in West Midlands, he was doing a good job. Very sadly, he died, even though he was opposed to it. He was showing the job can be done well.
OK, well, remains to be seen. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Jackie.